Hello everybody, welcome. My name's Tara Moriarty. I'm the Minister for Western New South Wales, Regional New South Wales and Agriculture in New South Wales. I'm joined today by New South Wales Police Superintendent David Cooper, Mark Summers, Essential Energies Operations Manager, Sam Pickering, Transgrid's Head of Far West Operational Response, and Joanna Quilty from the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority. I've just arrived in town today, but I have been part of the regular briefings and have been kept up to date with the relevant information about the issue since it has begun. And I've received relevant information up to date as of now that I'm happy to be able to pass on to the community. So I want to start with the current state of play. Right now, there are no customers without power in the impacted communities across the far west region of New South Wales. There was no load shedding during last night's evening peak, which is the sixth night in a row in Broken Hill. Communities surrounding Broken Hill remain connected to Essential Energies generators. They include Menindee, Sunset Strip, Kinnelong, Wilcannia, White Cliffs, Packsaddle, Tibooburra, Mount Gibbs, Stevens Creek and surrounding rural properties. I do have an important update to give everybody this afternoon. Transgrid expects to restore the transmission line in the next 24 hours for the region. When that happens, the region will then be connected to the main grid. That's much sooner than was originally expected. It is good news for the community. We certainly understand the frustration that has been occurring over this period of time, but we are expecting that people will be connected back to the main grid in the next 24 hours. That is a dynamic situation. The whole thing's been a dynamic situation. People will be notified in the surrounding communities by Essential Energy when the power change is due to happen. Nobody will experience any change in the community of Broken Hill when people are connected to the main grid. But for the surrounding communities, they will receive information directly from Essential Energy, giving them a time for when they should expect the power to be out for up to 3 hours while the connection occurs. People will be given notification directly from from Essential Energy about that. So that should happen, and people should be reconnected to the grid in the next 24 hours, which is good news for the community of Broken Hill and the surrounding communities in the far west of New South Wales. So I do want to be clear about that information for when this does happen. When the far west is reconnected to the main New South Wales electricity system, and Transgrid and Essential will provide more detail about that shortly. They're here to provide the detail. When the power line is restored, there will be a few things that happen. We expect that homes and businesses in Broken Hill will see no interruption in their power supply when switching from the backup generator. The Parillia mine will experience an outage of around 1 hour, and they are prepared for that, and they are ready to go. Essential Energy needs a 3-hour outage for customers currently supplied by its portable generators when it is reconnected to the main electricity system. This will impact Wilcannia, Menindee, White Cliffs, Tibooburra and surrounding communities. They will provide as much detail and notice, as I've said, as possible to those communities for when this is likely to occur. So during that planned outage, households in the areas outside of Broken Hill should turn off and unplug sensitive appliances such as TVs, computers, Wi-Fi routers to prevent damage when the power is restored. But again, you will get notification from Essential Energy when that is expected to happen. And again, we are not expecting Broken Hill proper to lose power. There will be another interruption for some, but please know everyone involved in this wants communities restored to the main power supply as soon as possible. So again, Essential Energy will SMS customers advising of the time when this is due to occur. Transgrid will retain the extra generators at the substation until both large-scale generators are fully refurbished and able to operate sustainably. I also want to advise the New South Wales Telco Authority is continuing to work with the telecommunications carriers to ensure that critical telecommunications infrastructure is supported through mains power supply. We also, on behalf of the New South Wales Government, I do want to welcome the announcement from the federal government today. The New South Wales Government has been working closely with the federal government, and we do welcome the announcement of support for workers who have been affected across the region during this situation, as they've activated the Australian Government Disaster Recovery Allowance. This disaster recovery allowance is a short-term income support payment to assist individuals who can demonstrate their income has been affected as a direct result of this disaster. It can be paid for a maximum of 13 weeks, and this will assist eligible workers such as miners who have not had access to leave, casual hospitality and retail workers who have also lost shifts. We know that has impacted people in those sectors across the community, and we're very pleased that the federal government has listened to those concerns and have announced this support today. Applications are now open and will be available in the Broken Hill and Central Darling local government areas, as well as the Far West unincorporated area. The quickest way for people to claim that support is online through MyGov. And that is available, as I am advised, from 2 p.m. today. So anyone who is experiencing hardship and who is out of work, particularly in those sectors as a result of this, should log into MyGov and make their application, which is open now. In relation to people's electricity bills, I can report that both Energy Australia and Origin have agreed to defer bills, and now AGL has agreed to defer bills for around 1,400 customers. This means customers won't be hit with a bill for at least a month, companies won't chase outstanding debts, and I join Minister Sharp in calling on other energy retailers to do the same. Today I can also announce that some of the large banks are launching disaster relief grants to support their customers across the region, which is also very welcome. The New South Wales Government reached out to the banks to ask them to consider how they could better support individuals and businesses across the community who have been impacted at this time and who are in need. NAB has a disaster relief grant late yesterday, providing grants to customers for up to $1,000, grants to cover emergency expenses, which is welcome. NAB has around 3,100 personal customers and around 220 business customers in the region, and we know that this will make a big difference to people who need this support. So thank you to the National Australia Bank for standing up for the community. ANZ is offering hardship provisions for impacted customers. So my message to people in Broken Hill and the surrounds is contact your bank and ask if they have disaster relief. So we certainly welcome the banks that have done it. The others should consider doing the same. The New South Wales Government Recovery Assistance Point in Broken Hill is open again today, and we can confirm it will be open Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday next week, and I'll be visiting there this afternoon. That's where you get food and fuel vouchers and support from Service New South Wales, the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority, Legal Aid, Vinnie's, Red Cross and the Insurance Council. If a business can't make it to the Recovery Assistant Point, Service New South Wales will send that business concierge team, a business concierge team member directly to them to engage directly on what support might be available. The Reconstruction Authority held drop-in sessions in Menindee, Wilcannia, White Cliffs and Tibooburra, and they will be back again next week. 1,000 food vouchers and 1,000 fuel vouchers are being distributed. These are available at the Recovery Assistance Point and at outreach points. We are delivering 1,000 food hampers this week, and we have ordered another 1,000 for next week. The $200 and $400 support payments for households and businesses are not yet available. Service New South Wales is setting up the system, and applications will be open next week. I will now hand over to Superintendent David Cooper for a further update.
Thank you, Minister Moriarty, and welcome to Broken Hill, and thank you for your government's continued support of what's happening out here. So our local emergency management arrangements remain in place, supported by the Regional Emergency Operations Committee. and we continue to meet every couple of days to ensure that we remain focused on what is now, we're still in the response phase, but we certainly look forward to transitioning to recovery early next week, and we'll continue to do so until we're fully back on board. So yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, Minister. Over the past 24 hours, teams from across Australia have successfully and safely secured all conductors into place along the 7 high-voltage emergency response structures. Transgrid teams are now working through final line preparation, which includes the installation of conductor spaces and final completion and safety checks. Pending the successful completion of these checks, Transgrid will work to switch over to the primary power supply within the next 24 hours. For those living in Broken Hill, an outage will not be required to move from the backup generator to the main power supply from the transmission line. However, to connect rural communities outside of Broken Hill, who are currently being supplied by Essential Energies generators, an outage will be required. I'd like to emphasise that while we continue to work as quickly and safely as possible, there are many variables, including today's weather, which is less favourable for working at heights than it has been over the past few days. I would like to thank our emergency response team for the incredible work that they continue to do on the ground, as well as the New South Wales Government, local government, Essential Energy and everyone who we are working closely with. Finally, I want to thank the Broken Hill community for their patience and support as we work to reconnect the region to its primary power supply. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. From an Essential Energies operations team, we have teams on the ground overnight who are working at the Pinnacles Place to make sure that we kept the generators operative there overnight. So our team on the ground and our team in our operations centre closely monitored that, and we obviously had successful generation throughout the night. On the notification of the transmission network coming back into service tonight, we have crews on standby across the network in preparation for that. Once we do get notification that the Transgrid network has been re-energised, we will work then towards re-energising the Pinnacles Place substation and also disconnecting the generation that's connected at that location. Unfortunately for our customers in those rural and outlying areas, we will need to have approximately a 3-hour interruption to electricity supply in that area whilst we disconnect the generation and then reconnect to the actual network. So we will work with the customers to minimise the inconvenience of that. We will get some notification out of an exact time around that interruption to supply. We are anticipating it will be somewhere after 10 p.m. tonight that we will go ahead with that outage, and as I said, that will be notified to customers in those areas, and we will also notify once we've completed our work and supply has been re-energised in those locations. As we know, over the previous couple of nights, that will also mean that we will be still on generation through the peak for this afternoon. So I'd just like to stress with customers to make sure that we minimise our usage from that 5 o'clock onwards through till the interruption tonight at around about 10 o'clock. So just if we could make sure that we're very conscious with our usage, especially for air conditioning and heavy usage items in our households. So again, just like to thank customers and we'll look forward to all being very successful return to the network tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. We are continuing to see ongoing need and people facing difficult circumstances as a result of the outage, and ongoing demand for the support that the New South Wales Government is providing in collaboration with community partners. As of yesterday evening, we had 700 people through our recovery assistance point in Broken Hill and our various community outreach locations. So the numbers for yesterday were 190 through the Broken Hill Centre. We had 59 people attend our outreach location in Whitecliffs, and we had another 24 at Tibooburra. As the Minister said, 1,000 hampers provided by Food Bank are being distributed throughout the community. They're all but allocated and are in the process of being distributed, so we have put in an order for another 1,000 hampers from Food Bank, which we're expecting to arrive on the weekend, and we're very grateful to Food Bank for being such a great partner with us in this trying situation. We've distributed 1,300 food and fuel vouchers through our recovery assistance point in Broken Hill and through those community outreach locations. We're really grateful to Vinnie's for stepping up and managing that system for us, providing food vouchers and fuel vouchers to people in need. There's really high demand for that, and Vinnie's have really powered through, and we're very grateful to them for that. We've been joined in our Broken Hill Recovery Assistance Point by Services Australia, sitting alongside Services New South Wales, and the business concierge, as the Minister has said, is getting out and about and doing community outreach, visiting businesses in the community, which is providing really important data and evidence as to the impacts for businesses. We know it's really difficult for them to attend our Recovery Assistance Centre, so it's really great that they're able to get out there and meet with them face to face. It's very busy today, again, at the Recovery Assistance Point. At lunchtime, there had already been 200 tickets given out. So we are saying to people, if you can possibly wait until next week, we will be back again on Tuesday, as the Minister has outlined. If you can wait until then, please come and visit. But we really don't want to keep people waiting, and we don't want to have long lines. So please come and visit us next week. We are planning to do community outreach as well, and we will have more information on those locations soon. Once again, I do want to thank the community for their forbearance, their patience and their goodwill. There have been queues, there have been some waiting times given the high level of demand, but it has been a very respectful and calm environment, and we really appreciate and thank the community for that. And I do again want to thank our partner agencies, both government and non-government. They have really stepped up to the mark in order to meet the high level of demand. They're doing so with professionalism and compassion and a desire to provide as much support as possible to those in need. So we do thank them very much for that. And so again, please come and visit us next week. We will be at the Aged Persons Rest Centre in Blen Street and in community locations, and it will be an opportunity to get that support that is on offer. Thank you.
Happy to take questions?
Yes, please.
Yep.
I suppose we'll start. We've heard obviously many businesses have lost upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. We're not even taking into account the mining industry, who's potentially lost millions of dollars over the last couple of weeks. Has the state government considered any further options for support for those businesses?
At this stage, the priority is to get through this emergency situation. So pleased to have been outlined today that the advice is we should be able to be back on the main grid in the next 24 hours. Hopefully that will be happening tonight. We're certainly very aware and have been engaging with the community on what has been occurring, how businesses have been impacted, how community members have been impacted. I've outlined some of the support, including the $400 for businesses and $200 for residents that will be available next week. There is also, we welcome the federal government's support for workers who are impacted in some industries today. And we will continue to work with the local community on the next phase of what's happened here. So priority is getting through this emergency situation, getting the energy line back on so that people have certainty, and then we'll continue to engage on recovery from here.
Obviously, I know you're talking about being focused on the assistance now for the community, but if we are to look long term, what is the state government now currently having as a discussion about what could be done better if an instance like this was to occur again?
We certainly do need to have a discussion about what has happened here, and there will be a number of discussions about the circumstances that have arisen to impact the community across the far west of New South Wales. What has happened is not okay, and the New South Wales government does know that. priority for us at the moment is to make sure we get through this emergency situation, get the power back on, give the community certainty about the situation that they're in, and then we will be looking at what has happened.
To get to the technical details of that $200 and $400 that community members are very eager to access, what day next week can they expect to be able to access that?
Service New South Wales are putting the systems in place now for people to be able to apply for that money. We certainly appreciate and understand that people are doing it tough and that they are experiencing hardship across the community. The New South Wales Government is moving as fast as we can, and the advice that I have is that they should be available for people to apply for next week.
Obviously, you've got a broader portfolio than discussing power outages here in the far west. Have you met, or do you have any plans to meet with graziers, local pastoralists as such?
I certainly meet with local pastoralists and farmers and graziers on a very regular basis. I'm here today to deal with this emergency situation, but look forward to continuing to engage with people across my broader portfolios, regional New South Wales and agriculture. And as people would be aware, the entire cabinet is coming back to town. I'll be back in town next week with all of my colleagues to engage with the local community about how we can support and work with and help to enhance life across Western New South Wales.
What issues are you expecting pastoralists and graziers to be raising with you next week?
Look, I engage with them on a regular basis, so I expect they'll be dealing with regular issues in relation to agriculture, including dealing with weeds and pests. We're rolling out our electronic identification tagging system for sheep and goats, and I know that there are some views about that around here, but that kicks in from the 1st of January. So I look forward to engaging with graziers and pastoralists and the broader community about those issues in relation to agriculture, but also more broadly in terms of how the New South Wales Government is working to support and develop regional New South Wales.
And last question, any particular plans for the weekend? Are you here in Broken Hill?
Well, if at this stage I'm here to deal with the emergency situation. So if, as I've been advised, we can get the power back on within the next 24 hours, I'll reassess and see where things are at tomorrow. But I'll be certainly here tomorrow engaging with people who are affected. I'm going down to the centre, as I outlined this afternoon, to hear directly from the community and the people who are providing support. And the whole cabinet will be back, including myself, next week. So at this stage, it's a day-by-day proposition depending on the needs of the community.
Any other questions?